I'd like to believe that everyone at this point knows about the iconic Red Mist creepypasta. Another name for it is Squidward Suicide. Basically an episode about Squidward killing himself. Right. Well, let me tell you that Squidward isn't the only one who has been affected by this mist. Recently, I received a strange package. It was very strange, as I remember I didn't order anything in particular, but I did remember watching SpongeBob as a kid. I'm telling you this because the package was actually titled with the name SpongeBob on it. And at that point, I really didn't mind that someone had sent this to me. Anyway, I pulled out a VHS tape out of the package with the title reading Blue Mist. I put the tape in my VHS player. It began with static at first. I didn't really mind it. This was pretty common with media this old. Until the title itself read Blue Mist. Gotta be honest, I'm surprised it even worked. At this point, I was reminded about my friends telling me about this Red Mist lost episode. I was actually kind of thinking, well, anticipating, really, that this might be a remake of that episode. Nevertheless, the episode had begun. It started as usual, of SpongeBob cooking Krabby Patties at the Krusty Krab. However, visually he seemed to be a bit depressed, almost like he was thinking about something. My first instinct was that it must have been something related to Gary. As the episode was moving on, Squidward later appeared, yelling at him that he needed to hurry up because the customers wanted more Krabby Patties. But one thing that actually caught my eye was Squidward's yell itself. I mean, his voice was so deep that he didn't sound like, well, like the voice actor we've all known and loved. It looked as if SpongeBob was almost going to cry, but nevertheless he persisted. Once he was finished, he later started to share Krabby Patties with everyone, and asked one customer if it was good. To my surprise, the customer ended up saying some horrible words. Like, what the heck is this? Who even allowed you to work here? You should be ashamed of yourself for being a bad cook, etc. SpongeBob looked heartbroken. There was a tear coming out of his left eye, and in the next scene, we see Squidward laughing uncontrollably. Mr. Krabs busts out of his door and aggressively asks him what happened with his customers. Well, SpongeBob replied that he did what he was taught. Mr. Krabs then yells at him, stating that he is very disappointed and indicates that he is indeed fired. SpongeBob proceeds to beg to Mr. Krabs that he won't do it again, but instead Mr. Krabs denies him, tells him that he'll find a better cook. He later kicks him out of the Krusty Krab establishment, and Squidward's laugh can still be audible. At this point, the screen proceeded to turn black. Must have been for at least half a minute. And it had given me plenty of time to think about what kind of episode this was. The episode then cut to SpongeBob's bedroom, and he was sitting there emotionless. Static could also be audibly heard in the background, and SpongeBob then starts sobbing. The static was later replaced with windy sounds that grew stronger and stronger when zooming in on SpongeBob's face. For a split second, an image came into frame. And when I looked back frame by frame, I was shocked. It was a photo of someone being bitten by what I thought was an anaconda on someone's tongue. I mean, I was truly horrified at this point, thinking that, well, I don't know what to think. SpongeBob's sobbing later turns into just wailing. And a little while later, Squidward with children laughs. It could be heard in the background out the window. Their laughs were so slowly turning deeper until another image flashed on screen. This time, a person cutting someone's stomach. Blood was also seen bleeding everywhere on the image. I was disgusted at what I saw and desperately wanted to puke, but the VHS player kept going. After those two images, we could see SpongeBob is no longer crying, and the windy sounds and demonic laughter were gone. SpongeBob later puts his hands down to reveal his big bloodshot eyes. Instead, they were blue. He later starts crying again, but without covering his eyes. The windy sounds and evil laughs have come back, and there was a scream that could be heard in the background. The screen flashed again and showed a short video of someone crushing the skull of what I had hoped to be a corpse. Needless to say, I puked after that.